Just want to make a quick video about this because I don't really talk about this that much. But having been diagnosed with so many different things and then not really knowing like which doctor was correct or what was correct for me, what I've seen though is that people tend to maintain that a certain diagnosis means a lot of things. Like I say, if you have schizophrenia, you must be this, 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 and you can never this, 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 this. If you have schizoaffective disorder, you can never do this, 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 this. You can only do this, this, and this. People, seen people living in homes for a lot of their lives where they only have a bedroom and an eating area and a place to smoke cigarettes. That's all they have. There's really there's really no good reason why they're in there. And just, I think people who maintain that, like, oh, this person, they can never do that just because of something that society has said or something that you don't know about, I think it's really unethical. But I know it happens so often. And I kind of just hope that as people grow up, they realize the right way to treat people. They are just regular people, to be honest. But they realize that, and then, but you don't know. And, I wonder if there's like a 5-year-old kid, he doesn't understand about it. He wants to do that in his own mind about how to treat people. And then if you have like a 7-year-old woman doing like the same thing, who just it's almost like she's acting childish in a way, and it makes me think, wonder if she's just trying to screw around with other people, and they don't actually believe these things. But the point is, what I've seen, people who have a serious diagnosis, I don't think I can treat them any other way than a regular person, except that there is maybe things not to do. Maybe they have PTSD. Other things is like if they take a medication, again, they're forced to live there. If they take a medication, that might be affecting their the way they think, or their body or something like that. That's what happened to me. But I mean, you look at these other things, depression. I think we've all felt depressed at one point or another. Some people have that as a diagnosis. It's just a real weird situation. Because I think we all have a family member who has something, or we've heard of a family member who is that. I think what I heard is that I had a family member. I never met her. She killed herself. It was suicide, and I think she had schizophrenia. Other than that, I don't have any family members, so I had never actually met a person who had something like that, until one person said that that's what they think I have. But I also thought originally, they said like, oh, they probably you have like bipolar or something. I was like, oh, that's really not a big deal. Except they say that is, it kind of does matter because they think a different way, or I don't really remember it. I never really looked into any of it. Never really looked into any of the research or what things are supposed to be. But what I did learn is that people who have something, they get angry just like everyone else. They get sad just like everybody else. But the main thing is, like, I saw people get angry. You don't want to say this person, oh, they're only angry because they're schizophrenic, or they're only doing that because that's what they are. I think it's unethical, which will have a problem with a lot of doctors. I don't really know how to treat it because, again, when I was like 15, 16, I didn't like these people that much because I never met them. I thought they were like bad people. I thought you would be careful around them, and it's scary what they're doing somewhat. And then, but now, I mean, you go into play, like, I never got close to anyone personally who had these. Despite what they said, I was still able to find people to hang out with who don't have anything. Meet them, talk to them. It's a similar, and in AA, people who you don't have to worry about that when you talk to them. And I'm trying to think. I mean, I had a friend, despite, at different stages, the worst stage I would say for me is the doctor said I had schizoaffective disorder, like, which is a bipolar type. I was like, okay, this is like the worst thing that could happen. But it really didn't. I just worried about people treating me. I still hung out with this guy, Mark, who you know, he played soccer at Loyola, typical of, activities that I would be doing anyway. We went to the mall with some girls. It was, he dated a girl from New Trier, and then it was someone I used to know, his sister, Montana Brule. We went to the mall, went shopping, but like I said, a regular kind of stuff. You really shouldn't hold people back, but at some point you gotta say what is going on in their brain, because like what is we don't want them to, we don't want to have like a serious negative thing happen. We don't want somebody to like have a panic attack. We don't want somebody to have to like get like physically injured if that's an issue. We don't want something to escalate to the point where it shouldn't. Other than that, you don't need to treat these people differently at all. And I've seen plenty of people, and there's a lot of people like that. I don't fucking like them. Or they're still cool people, just like they were their whole lives. But some people, you're just like, I don't fucking like this person. Like, fuck this person. This person is fucking nasty all the time. Nasty to everybody. Don't want to be around them. Or this person's making me feel uncomfortable on purpose, just to mess with me. I don't want to be around that person either. It's just a basic run of the mill. I think if you don't know about it, it's kind of interesting because it actually affects a larger portion of the population than you would know. But it's good to know. For me, I had to know because I was in a hospital or I was in a rehab. Hanging out with addicts, that's another thing because they're like typically like you say like bad people. They abuse drugs or they have beat people up, broken the law, stuff like that. But being around them, it's kind of like for me, it was like I'm not used to this, but it's not the worst. It's not the last thing I would do. It's not the worst person to hang out with because they're actually trying to get their lives right. But they're just people have these diagnoses, just regular people to an extent. But if you don't give them friendship and you don't give them anything to do, or you give them cabin, it's kind of like cabin fever. You don't get out, it starts to mess with your brain. That can affect them. But I mean, I'm not really sure how relevant that is unless you want to see them act like an idiot. Like it's like in that movie Castaway. They left him on an island. No, they didn't. There was a plane crash. He ended up on an island, and sorry, I'm doing like hand gestures. You can't see. He ends up on the island. He has to make a volleyball, and he has to name the volleyball after his best friend. So I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. I just think that it's unfortunate that some people have to do this. I think it's unfortunate some people have to be living in a home where they just don't have a lot of space, but at least they have some things. So that's what I thought about it. A lot of people are disagree with me. A lot of people are, they take the serious action where they go up and they say like, no, they are horrible people. Yeah, and they deserve that, all that, whether they get. I didn't see it that way. I also don't. I don't think, oh, they're these like precious little angels. I didn't see it that way. I met a guy. He claimed that he had schizoaffective disorder. That's what he was told. He played high school basketball. But you'll say, well, why did they think that? He said, well, I molested a girl or something. They said, I'm not gonna tell you his name. It's illegal. Because it's a confidentiality. He like that, and it's just like little stuff like that people say, do you want to take this seriously or not? And you say, maybe I do, maybe I don't. Do I think this matters or do I not? For me, what was it? I forgot what it was, because I have done some things in my past that were not good. I don't know. I threatened someone with a weapon when I was really little. They thought that was a sign. I did something with a dog you're not supposed to do when I was like 8. And they said that was a sign. And I was like, that makes some sense. Or just that. But it's never going to be like, the answer is never going to be, you were just that way. You were just that way because you're a horrible person. No, that's never going to be the answer to anybody that I know of. I guess it could happen, but for me and in this area, it's just like, well, it didn't quite make sense because I've been around people, been able to be around people. It's like, there's like, you've heard voices your whole life since you were like 2. I don't think that happens. Um, and I'm probably getting judged for this a little bit, but that's not okay. It is okay. And for me, I'm trying to think what else it was. I mean, I just got out of jail at that time, so everybody was judging me for that, even though I didn't really do anything wrong. But and I didn't do what they said I did. It was like for me, it's like, there's like, they convicted you of stalking. I was like, well, I never stalked anybody in my life. They said, well, yes, you did. Like they wanted to like say like, I've used Facebook before. I don't think that counts as stalking. It isn't stalking. It's just Facebook stalking, which is totally different, and it wasn't even that. You don't even do that much. So but that wasn't it either. I'm trying to think of what it was that they were kind of saying, like, you might want to consider it. Either way, it was probably something really small. But also it was something I said like, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you don't like, you can go on YouTube. You can find somebody, people who look, really good looking girls, or like, regular people with jobs. Speaking about this kind of stuff. And they'll say like, yeah, I had to be hospitalized. It's a down point, but the up point is that I can talk about it. I don't have to actually like judge myself for that. Also, the stupid thing is you don't want to say like, you don't want to give all the power up to the doctor. Otherwise, you look like an idiot. They'll say like, I think you have this, and you're like, so that's probably the worst thing you can do. Second worst thing you can do is say no. I'm going to say no to everything completely. Because then you'll just be, where will you be? Your family might not accept you anymore, or you'll this. And of course, I've been told, like, you don't have anything. Plenty of times I've been told that. I was like, yeah, that might be true. But, writing everything off, they're going to be like, oh, this guy's, like, in denial or something. And then you're going to be like, well, then why is it I have it? Why do I have to go through this? And, that's it. Everybody's got a different story. So I don't know why. I can't really say that other people, the same thing happened to me, and that's why they're like that. And that's something I've fallen into many times. Or you say like, it reminds me of talking to addicts. Some people are gay in the drug, and say like, well, I just decided, this person's like, I just decided to come out, and the other person's like, I've been that way my whole life. The other person's like, first I like girls and then I like guys. This person's like, I've never had sex with a woman, or something like that. It's just like a different story every time. I'll make another video about this or something, but I gotta go somewhere, so I'm gonna close this.